Coming up to the line, being chased, and it was Braden Johnson. Unbelievable finish. It was 1/1000th of a second between them.
Green flag in the air. We are racing in the 2020 24 Hours of Daytona.
They go door to door for the feature race lead here on the last lap of the race. Side by side for the race lead in the final corner at Homestead. Down the back straightaway, 3 wide again for the race lead. This is unbelievable stuff here tonight.
Loma is going to have to be very deep on the brakes, and he is very deep on the brakes. It's side by side through the corner. This is for the win.
It'll be side by side. Davies low, Ottinger high. To the very inside is Garrett low. 4 wide at the stripe. The Audis win here on this outside line. Neck and neck. Who's going to back out? Does anyone back out? Verstappen starts to squeeze on the inside, and now he'll try and straight line it. Goes under the apron. Drag race to the line. It's so close to call. It is time to burn off all those calories and sling on the dirt. With that, we welcome you to MaxspeedTV's live coverage of the 2020 iSCAR Turkey Derby from the virtual Lanier Raceplex. Happy to have you join us on our debut for MaxspeedTV, where alongside Charlie Byer and Liam Sheen up on the virtual commentary box, my name is Kenneth Bueno. And Charlie, I'll turn to you first here. We've said our thanks on Thursday. We've eaten all that we can, but now we get to sling dirt for cash prizes where the best of iSCAR can go for the sake of fun for out of track, which holds some difficulties in this configuration specifically.
Yeah, I'm really excited as a big dirt racing fan myself. This is going to be a lot of fun to be up here in the booth with both of you guys. It's something that we've really never covered here before, you and I, Kenneth. So it's definitely going to be a new experience. I'm ready for a lot of good racing tonight, and hopefully we see a good race for the win.
And Liam, I'll turn over to you second. Of course, you've been a part of some of the Max Speed TV broadcasts, and of course, you're very familiar with the iSCAR landscape and everybody in this league. And at a special event here at Lanier and all these this dirt race specifically with the dirt UMP modifieds, and a very, very special event, and you know, a lot of fun, especially when we have a grueling iSCAR season and you come over here, take a week off, and have a little bit of fun down on the dirt in Lanier.
Yeah, everybody's here just to have a little bit of fun in this little special event on our Thanksgiving off week. And as we get set for this heat, we have around 20 or so cars in this heat. Only 5 make it in, though. So we're going to be seeing who is the best of the best on the dirt side of things. And hey, who knows? Maybe they might be ones to watch for Eldora later on in the season.
If you're going to be looking, so you're looking at this grid over to heat number 1. But before we get shortly and going, we'll look at our map and see where we are in the virtual world with our images provided by Google Earth. Take a look all the way down to the Lanier Raceplex, 0.33 miles around this short oval. You see it there. Not the configuration we're running down. It looks like a go-kart track there now, but here we got the dirt configuration. Track opened all the way back in 1982. So a track full of history and a track here on the dirt side on the iRacing service. Here is the heat number 1. Unfortunately, couldn't get to the grid, but nonetheless, we are green for heat number 1. Top 5 make it through. Easy Hunter up already through. Kenny Brady looking for second. Josh Patterson in third. Got some cars already looking back already in trouble, but everybody's swimming through into turn 1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
The battle for the transfer spot is heating up real quick as Garrett has tried to sling to the outside of Joe Burgee, but he got into the walls there. So Joe Burgee is currently your last car in the top 5 to make that transfer spot, currently battling with Kevin White.
Yeah, Joe Burgee, one of those guys that are really strong in dirt in other leagues. You see him up front in the Eldora races, and Joe Burgee making a really strong showing right now early in this race as he tries to set down and chase that number 15 car of Josh Patterson.
Gonna look at a 3-car tango as Bergie's up into the outside wall. Colin Zimmer will try to find his way by. He'll sneak up to 6. There is the 147 of Kevin White Jr., who's holding strong to the outside. Something we've also really never talked about in the dirt, and especially since we've never covered this, Charlie, especially that this track will get slicker and change as soon as we go. We usually go from the asphalt side of things, see the track change there, but here in the dirt, it is so much different. The track gets very slick, and especially with these UMP modified, so much power under the hood that it is very hard to keep control of as you're watching the battle for the transfer spot.
Yeah, once you watch all that dirt kind of get brushed off, you'll get some of the slick spots, and that just makes dirt racing so abrasive and really hard to adapt. But back to the battle for the transfer spot, Kevin White is now on the outside looking in, trying to get by Joe Burgee.
And once you pass the car, you can't really settle in because the track is ever changing, and you just got to try to break away. As you see Colton Zimmer really tight against Josh Patterson there. He's going to make another go for it in the corner, near contact, not quite, but Colton Zimmer hanging tough on the inside as they try to challenge the number 33 car now as they're inching closer and closer.
This is a 3-car battle. We've got the white flag over to heat number 1. Hunter up, though, in clear sights, looking to easily take this win and advance over to the feature. But we've got that battle brewing up as Berg is around, Colin Zimmer's around, Garrett Hess is also around. Everybody slinging around trying to get to that final spot. We're not sure who it will be. Kevin White Jr. will fall through behind. I think Thomas Lloyd might have it.
It's looking like Joe Burgee. Yeah, and Joe Burgee is going to hold that last transfer spot as Colton Zimmer ate it up on the last lap. And as you see Joe coming to a stop, a really great showing for him. William Schmidt up on over. That is not something you want to end your heat with, but we're going to get set for this next heat here. I'm not sure who we have in this. Oh, Christopher Weil and Zeke Reyes on the front row.
We'll look for league owner Ezekiel Reyes, who we usually don't see over in these races specifically, but especially since it's a special event, it's good to see him out on the track. We'll actually take a look at our grid for heat number 2. Remember, top 5 will advance. Christopher Weil will start on the first position with Ezekiel Reyes lining up to second in row number 1.
Row number 2 sees Proximity Racing's owner Chase Bonser, and to his outside Jackson Menchu in that 099 there. That'll complete row number 2.
And in row 3, you got Brody Garner, the other Prox car, alongside Jake Sylvia. He's a name we haven't seen here in a while.
Back to row number 4, Dylan Basin. Basin Racing owner will start tonight from 7th. Right alongside him, the number 27 of Cade McKee.
Row number 5 sees Aaron Brown starting in the bottom, and across the pond, Harry Grindell, that number 70 car, starting 10th.
And back here, you see Nick Miller in the 95. Surprising qualifying effort being this far back. We're going to see if he can try to cut his way forward. And Ryan Kendrick in the 00.
to row number 7. Kylo Ren in the number 084 will start tonight from 13th in this heat. Right alongside him, AJ Bain in the number 8 will be from 14th. That'll be all of our drivers in heat number 2. Remember, top 5 will advance, so we will have another scramble. We did see that first top 5 advance. Those will be the first 5 drivers to enter the feature. We'll have the next 5 coming soon. We have 20 drivers that will make it in through the feature and lock themselves in. Everybody else from the D main, C main, B main will all find out who the rest of the 5 drivers will be to join the other 20 to make it into this feature. Still a long way to go, though, until we get to that point. But for now, we got the green flag in heat number 2. Christopher Weil up and away. Zeke Reyes fighting for second as their 3-car tango into turn 1.
And Jake Sylvia from the outside looking in. Makes contact with Nick Miller there in the wall down the back straightaway. Brody Garner around as well.
Oh, everyone into one another as Jake Sylvia sneaks on by, but up front you see Christopher Weil breaking away from the rest of the pack as the 151 of Aaron Brown, he gets hit by Jake Sylvia. Jake Sylvia will take that last transfer spot away from him.
Gonna look for P5. Dylan Basin currently sitting there, so a long way for Jake Sylvia to go. They're gonna sling into turn 3 and 4 and continue on. The 78 continues to maintain ground as everybody within the top 5 practically single file for the most part, and just looking signal out as Dylan Basin going to try to hold on. 6 laps to go at the line.
And this is where Jake Sylvia can really experiment with different lines to try to catch up to that 08 of Dylan Basin. That's really one of the characteristics of dirt racing is there's not just one single groove that you have to follow. You can go up, you can go down, you can pretty much find any line that's more comfortable and try to make up more time.
One car going backwards that's kind of quickly is the 104 of Zeke Reyes. He's starting to lose some ground to the cars in front of him, and Basin is starting to come into the clutches of him. If those two can get side by side, I think that's going to be exactly what Jake Sylvia needs to try to get in this feature.
It takes 2 to tango. These 2 could be the ones that do it, and that could invite that number 78 of Jake Sylvia to try to get in. We're 3 to go at the line, coming to 2 to go as Christopher Weil continues to hold strong. About 1.8 seconds over Brody Garner, but that's a close-knit battle for that spot as well. I mean, they're both advancing, but still, Chase Bonser all the way to the inside, going to try and slide job on the 55.
And he will get that position. He'll take over the 2nd spot and try to make up some ground to try to take the heat win, but that behind there,
And Zeke Reyes overshot that corner, and he's going to lose the final spot on the last lap as Jake Sylvia needs to hang on for one more lap. Zeke Reyes falls right outside the last car in, and it doesn't look like it's going to be enough as he's going to try to throw a Hail Mary. Not going to be enough. And at the line, it's going to be Jake Sylvia taking the last spot to get in the feature.
And Zeke Reyes just lost there after that battle between about 3 cars. Ezekiel Reyes will have to move on to the D main as you see the 27 Academy keys start to come in. But Christopher Weil in the top 5, Bonser, Garner, and I believe Basin and Sylvia will make their way into the top 5, put themselves into the feature later on. We're going to look at now our 3rd heat of the night out of our, I believe, our 3rd of 4 heats we have here in this race before we get to the feature. Remember, still top 5 will emerge into the main event. We'll take a look at our grid, and this time just a handful of other drivers. Daniel Fockingham, very experienced iRacer, will start from the pole here, going to hold that on. Sawyer St. Clair going to be in second on row number 1.
The 404 of Blaze Crawford will be on the inside of row number 2 with Corey H. Hartz for Proximity Racing on the outside.
And in row 3, Carson Poindexter in the 21 for SPM Racing, and another proximity car, Corey Rexford in the 03.
Hunter Johnson in the 12 will start from 7th. We'll have 2 spots again into the transfer spot. Malachi Drake in the 90 will start from 8th.
A 19 of Peter Kenny will make up the inside row for row number 5, and Corey Long for SPM Racing on the outside of the number 93.
And back in row 6, you got Eric Heater in the 28 and Andy McDowell, another Prox car, in the 20.
Row 7, Brian C. Mullen in the 13th position. We'll start on row number 7 with Jeremiah Bethune in 14th. That'll round out the rest of the grid for this 3rd of 4 heats here from Lanier Raceplex. Obviously, Lanier National Speedway is known in the iRacing platform and had the asphalt version before we made the dirt on this side. And it's very, very interesting just how difficult this track is, especially as an asphalt surface, and even then going over to the dirt. And so far, it has been a challenge for a lot of these drivers. We've seen our handful of drivers make their way into the future. We'll see who emerges from this 3rd heat. Daniel Fockingham in the 121 of Sawyer St. Clair will lead the field to the green flag in heat number 3, side by side already between Blaze Crawford and Sawyer St. Clair into turn 1.
And they are almost 3 wide for the transfer spot. That's Corey Hartz off the outside. One car losing a lot of ground.
Oh.
And, big wreck.
Oh, and that is almost the entire field as everyone still piles in. You see cars slamming in there as Jeremiah Bethune gets by squeaking right there. And that 21 car looks like it's going to be race over for him. But as you see, the top 5, Falkingham, Crawford, Johnson, McDowell, Heater. Those are going to be the 5 to watch as Jeremiah Bethune is going to try to pull in that 28 car of Eric Heater.
We're going to have to see because there's so many wrecks off of turn number 2 going into the back straightaway that it seems that it easily separates everybody within this top 5. Falkingham continued to lead, though, by about 2.9 seconds over Hunter Johnson. There is a battle, though, for second as Blaze Crawford tries to look for third. Eric Heater, though, holding on to fifth. Jeremiah Bethune about 1.8 seconds behind the leader.
Yeah, like you said, Jeremiah just has to experiment and try to anything he can to try to catch up to get a transfer spot into the feature, unless you're going to have to do more racing in one of the mains to try to get your spot in.
And this sets up, if Jeremiah does not make it, and this sets him up pretty nicely for the last chance qualifier. As we see early in these little races, everyone smacks the wall and everybody's kind of, nowhere to go. So Jeremiah Bethune, if he can just hang on to this last spot here, it may not be night over for him as he's going to try to get in. As you see, the 20 and I believe 12 are having a little bit of a fight here. The 20 is going to go wide here, and the 28 is going to take advantage. Oh, he's going to try to slide up in front of him, and he will. And Eric Heater puts himself in the 4th spot now.
Eric Heater to 4th. McDowell will have to find for 5th. However, though, the guy behind has gotten by. Actually, Carson Poindexter. Something might have happened to Jeremiah Bethune as he's falling back. We do have the white flag. McDowell so far holding this transfer position, and it's all clear skies for the 30 of Daniel Falkingham. Will come around turn 4. He will win heat number 3, and the top 5 will advance. It'll be Hunter Johnson, Blaze Crawford, Eric Heater. Across the line, Andy McDowell will hold sight to the top 5 position. They'll make their way into the feature. Carson Poindexter and the rest will have to fend for everybody else in those LCQ. Remember, no yellows in these heats, but we do have manual cautions out in the mains, as you saw just a little bit of an issue there with Carson Poindexter. He will be the final heat. 5 drivers will advance. I believe there's only 7 that make it in, or at least 7 that's actually in this race. So a consistently less field than we've seen. 14 drivers. Usually we have about half the field here in this one as well. We're going to take a look at our grid, and it's probably going to be very short, but nonetheless, we'll see who is out front. Omar Diallo in the number 1 will start from P1, right alongside Ryan Kendrick from one of the other heats. He will start in P2.
121 of Sawyer St. Clair on the inside for row number 2, and Jake Torway in that number 99 car will round out row number 2.
And in row 3, you got AJ Bain and Brian C. Mullen. I don't believe AJ's still in the race session, so we're going to see if he's still here, but Brian Mullen's also going to be alongside of him.
Our final driver, Cole Ashcraft in the 91, will finalize this small little heat. It's about half the field. They're usually seeing about 14 cars out there, 14 UMP modifieds, maybe, I believe about maybe 6 or 7. Actually, don't see some drivers out there in the racetrack. Omar Diallo, Brian Mullen, Cole Ashcraft have not made their way, so I believe it'll be a 4-car race for this heat. And especially if we're talking about top 5 advance, we'll still have the top 5 advance regardless, because there won't even be a 5th position, really. We'll just have the top 4, and I guess the rest will fend through as we get through the mains later on in this evening. And guys, already some chaos we've seen so far. I know that very short races, but so many, a different plethora of drivers going into this race. As now we're about to head to the green flag as the 121 of Sawyer St. Clair and Ryan Kendrick lead us to the green flag. But such a wide spread of drivers here as we're looking in. Oh my goodness, the 8 up and over off of turn number 2. It looks like they're battling for first though.
That was the slide job of a century you saw in the turn number 1 there, but these guys can pretty much just run laps here, as all of them will be making it to the C main.
I don't know if you can even call that a slide job. It's just more like a straight line to me. But AJ Bain with a very aggressive slide job there. He's going to hold himself back in 4th, I believe, as he's actually 1 lap down. Oh, no, that's weird. Okay, so the our scoring is going wrong there. But AJ Bain having struggles holding onto his car as he's all kinds of sideways on the inside wall. And he's going to spin it around. No caution will come out for that. But AJ Bain, he's going to make his way into the feature alongside Omar Diallo. He's going to make it without even turning a lap in this heat. So attaboy to him.
Well, to be fair, it is relatively tough to maintain these race cars. I mean, so much power, the UMP modified. It doesn't like to be straight. It's basically just skewed all the way to the left. It's meant to be slinging on the dirt like this. So I guess AJ Bain just having a little trouble. Seems as though he's stuck, but unfortunately for him, he will make the feature at least. He'll be one of the top 5 as Omar Diallo will find himself into that top 5 position. Sawyer St. Clair going to be leading this field as Kendrick, Corway, and Bain obviously down on pit road. Only about 3 cars right now racing on the track. I guess that gives us guys a little bit of time to, I guess, recap on what we have, as we got 4 laps to go at the line for this heat. And now we're going into the mains. A lot of drivers are very gritty to go through these heats. Now they're going to the mains, where we'll have a lot more laps on hand, usually about 10, 15, 20 laps as we go up the mains and we start to get more drivers advanced. What's going to be the key here for these drivers in these cars at this track to get through the mains after getting through those chaotic heats?
Well, based on what I've seen through the heats, is really just keeping your car clean, as we've seen a lot of guys get into trouble and drop out of those transfer stops just because of a wreck. So I think really the strategy going into these mains and trying to get your way up through to the B main and eventually through the feature is just to keep your car clean.
One thing I'm starting to notice, as you see, Sawyer St. Clair is starting to have a little bit of trouble hanging onto his car. Kind of swings out a little bit more than it was earlier, and that's because the track is starting to slick up. But I think it's going to be a contest of who can keep their car the smoothest and try to keep more of a consistent turn through the corners. And, you know, turn as little as possible. As he spins out, it's going to be implications for this heat, as here comes Ryan Kendrick going to try to take a heat win. He's going to go backwards across the line.
Oh,
he takes out Kendrick, and who's going to win it?
It's
Kendrick. No, actually, I'm not sure who got that at the end. I think Sawyer might have had the edge going forward. Oh, my goodness. What a finish to that heat, I guess, with about 4 drivers or 3 drivers on the track. Now we're starting to get to the business, as we have 13 drivers in this D main. Remember, top 5 will move on to the C main. Of course, top 5 from the C main will go up to the B main. Top 5 from C main up to the B main. B main top 5 will make it into the A main, actually the feature race, and go over to this part. Well, I guess that was actually the D main. So we'll have our C main now. I believe the heats were skipped due to the drivers. Yes. So we will, according to our update, so we will have our C main here live with all of our drivers right here. We're going to take a look at our grid, starting with Aaron Brown in the 151. He will start the 15-lap event in first. Malachi Drake, following through from some of the heats, he will start from second.
The 09 of Colton Zimmer will be on the inside of row number 2, and to his outside, Jackson Minshew. We're seeing him once again, that 099 car.
And in row 3, you got Corey Long in the SPM car, and William Schmidt. He almost won one of the test races yesterday in 79 and 6.
Kyler Wren and Peter Kenny will round out row number 4, both the 084 and the 19 in this row as well.
And we saw a good finish between these guys in the D main. Ryan Kendrick will start 9th, and Sawyer St. Clair to his outside will start 10th out of round out row number 5.
And in row 6, you got Jake Corway in 11th, and AJ Bain with a really big move on lap 1 in the last race, starting in 12th.
Omar Diallo will be the final driver. Doesn't look like he will actually be in this race, or at least register for the moment. So we'll just have that, and we'll try to get the best, as all these other drivers going to go as the pace truck goes down to the safety of pit road, and we are under the green flag for the first time here at Lanier in the C main.
And right off the bat, Aaron Brown is going to try to break away from the rest of the field. As you can see, a pretty clean start from when we were used to seeing in this race. As a 15 is going to go for a slide, he'll try to collect it. I'm not sure who that is. As a car up and over. Can't make out a number on that car, but the 93 car, all kinds of sideways in the middle of the pack. He gets into William Schmidt. Ryan Kendrick also going into the inside, trying to take advantage as he doors him again. William Schmidt and Jackson Minshew with even more contact.
And this is a hornet's nest. Remember, this is for the top 5 spot. Right now, carrying that is Ryan Kendrick. Minshew sitting 4th. Kendrick in that catbird seat, but still a battle for 5th. As William Schmidt behind the 19 of Peter Kenny. Jake Corway, Corey Long might also go as a 79 in the outside wall, turn 1.
Can Schmidt make a move in the next 10 laps to try to get into that transfer spot? But Ryan Kendrick is seeming to pull away. But so it's going to be a battle that's going to ramp up in these next couple laps.
And as you can see, Colton Zimmer has taken the lead away from Aaron Brown. He sets himself back in 3rd, but the battle for the transfer is it's just heating up and heating up. As you see, William Schmidt closed the gap once again on him, 3 wide behind. but that's not going to be much of a problem in the midst of this battle, as William Schmidt's going to set it on the inside. He's been inching closer and closer as each lap goes, as he has 10 more to try to get the spot away from Kendrick.
Still has time, but at a track as short like this, it's not as much time as you think. That 79 trying to look to the inside, slinging all the way to the bottom, maybe trying to look to the high side, get some extra grip up to the cushion. He might have a run on that 00, maybe for the top 5 spot. Low-key, everyone else, though, holding strong. Jackson Menchu holding for position. Here comes the 79 to the top on the crossover.
The door is open for the 79 and William Schmidt to punch his ticket. Oh my goodness. That's Corey Long up and over into the track exit. But as I was saying, the door's open for the 79 to punch his ticket in to the B main to try to fight for a feature spot. He just needs to get that move. He just needs to have a good run on Ryan Kedja, maybe force him into a mistake in the slicks.
As you can see, William Schmidt, he's able to make that higher side work better than anyone else. As you can see, that 79 car, he slowly enters in, and then he gets a really good bite center of the corner, and he's going to try to drive it off straight off the corner. He can't really get to the inside of Kendrick. Oh, he's going to turn him for the spot. William Schmidt going to try to keep going, and Kendrick's going to put him in the wall a little bit, but William Schmidt's going to take that last spot on the means of not really a clean way, but Schmidt's all over the place with this car as he can't really hang on anymore. Here comes the 99 car. He's going to try to take it away from him.
Question was whether that 79 could hold on. He was very slick into 3 and 4. He's now going to look this time by as the 99 and Jake Corway will try to get for the lead. Meanwhile, up front at 5 to go, Colin Zimmer has been all up front. He's been dominating this heat, or this C main so far. Sawyer St. Clair in that other main that we saw a little bit earlier, and just shortly, he is now sitting in second. Aaron Brown third, Menchu in a fourth. William Schmidt, Corway seems to be one of the most compelling battles as everybody's all separated through 3 laps ago this time at the line.
William Schmidt with a pretty comfortable gap over Jake Corway, but it's not over until it's over, as that gap is decreasing, but he just has 2 more laps to punch his ticket into the B main.
One thing I'm noticing is the top side is starting to come in. People are starting to be a little bit more attracted to that higher lane, as William Schmidt is going to try to take 2 to go here and try to hang on to this last spot, as it looks like Jake Corway is starting to lose a little bit of touch with that 79 car, as I think the leader has taken the white flag now, and I think William Schmidt will be able to hang on here as he's going to come into 3 and 4. Colton Zimmer looks like I think he's going to punch his way into the second heat, or into the B main. He's going to take the checkered flag, as Sawyer St. Clair is going to be in second, Aaron Brown third, Jackson Menchu is going to come across fourth, and here comes William Schmidt at the line, and he's going to take that spot.
William Schmidt will hold on for P5. You see him go straight up to the outside wall as after the checkered flag. You got an update, though, from the officials that top 10 from the B main will get into the feature, since they closed off a heat number 4, since that didn't happen with the drivers that we've seen here tonight and the plethora of ones that we've seen so far. We are going to have our top 10 and get into the feature in the main event in a couple minutes, as soon as we get through everything else and then we get over here. But right now we're looking at one of the B, I believe this is the B main, as we got 18 drivers in this mix. So about top 10 will get in, and we'll actually look over to our grid and see exactly where your favorite driver, everybody else, will be starting here in this main. Starting on the pole, Thomas Lloyd in the 63 will find his way there, and right on the outside, league owner Ezekiel Reyes will start in the 104.
SPM Racing owner Carson Poindexter in that number 21 car will be on the inside of row number 2, and to his outside, the 53 of Mark Frimpong. That'll run out row number 2.
And in row 3, you got Cade McKee, the Formula 4 driver, in the number 27 car in 5th, and Corey Rexford, the Proximity Racing driver, in 6th.
Row 4 will feature Paul Granada in 7th, and Nick Miller in the 95. First time we see him, he'll start from 8th.
Row number 5, we'll see Corey Hartz in that number 57 for Proximity Racing, and to his outside, Casey Drake will start 10th.
And in row 6, you got the guy across the pond, Harry Grindle in the 70 in 11th, and Jeremiah Bethune in 12th.
We'll look at the rest of our grid. Garrett Hess, Colton Zimmer, row 7. Sawyer St. Clair, Aaron Brown, row 8. Our final row, 18 drivers tonight. Jackson Menchu, William Schmidt, who made it in through that main. He'll round out all of the drivers here from this main. We'll try to get into the feature. Remember, top 10 will make it in. Got 18 drivers, so 8 will miss. Pace truck all the way to the safety of pit road. It'll be the top 2. Thomas Lloyd and Ezekiel Reyes lead him to green. Huge crash already in the back, though. Got one flipping. Not sure who that might have been, but a huge wreck as they're scrambling for position. Another huge wreck on the back straightaway.
This is shaking up the transfer spot a lot. A lot of cars inside are now out. That's Nick Miller sideways on the back straightaway. We're going to wait for timing and scoring to catch up to see what this transfer spot is looking like.
And the question is, who got through that, and who is the transfer spot holder? I can't really make it out right now, as I believe it's the 70 of Harry Grindle. Oh, yes, it is. So Harry Grindle is the last guy. Oh, actually, no. Remember, it's the 10th place car that's the transfer spot, not the 5th. So who is the 10th place car? That is William Schmidt in the 79. He started shotgun on the field, and here he is on the last spot to get into this field.
Remember, Schmidt made that final spot in order to get into one of the mains. He seems to be going through in 10th right now, but he does have some pressure from Mark Frimpong behind, and it's still all side as we got one car all the way on its roof. Meanwhile, up front, though, Thomas Lloyd has been also dominant. It's most of the things we're seeing, guys, throughout a lot of these mains, especially what we could see going into the feature. A lot of drivers getting caught up in wrecks. All the drivers just trying to scramble for position. They get into contact at this very, very short track, and all of a sudden the leader is able to gap up to a lead, and they're able to hold on as you got 15 to go right now. What's it looking like for the transfer spot? So far, all William Schmidt as Mark Frimpong tries to catch up.
Yeah, I'm observing the gap here as Mark Frimpong in the wall down the front straightaway, but I'm observing the gap. It really hasn't. It's been fluctuating, but I really haven't been seeing a decrease in William Schmidt in the wall. Now that's going to lose him a lot of time.
That opens the door for Mark Frimpong. Can he capitalize on it? It looks like the gap is going to try to maintain the same as, a big wreck in front of them. Everybody doing a great job avoiding it as Mark Frimpong is going to slow down, and that 777 and Garrett Hess is going to try to get to his inside and pass him. Here comes Mark back on the inside, though. He's going to try to send it in there. Not going to happen. Garrett Hess is going to hold that spot. He's going to try to chase down that number 79 of William Schmidt.
They're looking for 10th as right now everybody kind of shuffled up. William Schmidt was at that catbird seat in 10th. Now he's moved up to 8th with that wreck a little bit further behind. The wreck seemed to have involved league owner Ezekiel Reyes. It seemed as though he was the one involved in that wreck, so he will fall the way back. And also leader Thomas Lloyd, as he's now into the outside wall. Apparently we might have missed that because that was a huge wreck right in front of the guys in the top 10, so they fall out. Corey Hartz is your new leader.
Corey Hart's going for a win here, and he's going to try to hang on to it. I'm not sure who is in second. I can't really make out a car number there. It looks like the 8. Well, that's not AJ Bain, but that's Paul Granada. He's going to try to hold on to that spot as Sawyer St. Clair is going to try to get to his inside. You see how smooth he is? He's barely counter-steering at all, so he's kind of... What the speed is, for me, from what I'm seeing, is if you can hold a consistent turn, that's going to be where all the speed is. But Garrett Hess, he's going to be the last guy in, I believe, at the moment. And the 53 car, William Schmidt around.
And Mark Frimpong as well. That's going to shift the transfer spot once again.
Yeah, Miller will find his way. Colton Zimmer as well. So the two drivers, Schmidt and Frimpong, will find their way to 12th and 13th. Zimmer and Miller will hold on to 9th and 10th. Aaron Brown, though, just a little bit further behind. Not sure whether he can gap up within the next 8 laps or so, but it is still all single file here. Corey Hartz will maintain the lead, but we got a battle for the lead brewing up, guys.
Yeah, as you can see, that 121, he's been able to make some, cuts into that lead. We saw him pass the second place car earlier. As you can see, he's making a nice, really smooth arc. As you see, he smacks the wall a little bit there, but what he's been really good at is trying to keep a consistent turn, and I believe he's going to be the one that's going to be able to challenge that 57. While he loses a little bit of ground now, he may be able to mount up a charge for later.
Colton Zimmer just wrecked out of his transfer spot, and he is now outside of the top 10.
Yeah, he just right there. You just saw him as we cut away to Mark Frimpong. You saw the 09 in the background kind of limping just a little bit. It is not all smooth for Mark Frimpong, though. Here comes Ezekiel Reyes trying to look for that 10th spot. It's all clear, though, about 3 seconds to 9. So Miller and Brown are good into the transfer spot. Frimpong and Ezekiel Reyes going to look for that position, but both of them very, very struggling with their race cars.
Yeah, as you can see, that 104 car, he's struggling with straightaway handling as that 53 is starting to get into a rhythm here as he's starting to try to pull away from that 104 car. But as you see, once Mark Frimpong messes up, that 104 really capitalizes on it. As the 57 in the wall, he's going to give up that spot to 121 of Sawyer St. Clair. He's going to fall back to 3rd right now. As Colton Zimmer is going to come onto his inside, trying to get his lap back, as William Schmidt is trying to hang on to his lap here.
Battle for the transfer spot. Ezekiel Reyes just threw a slide job on Mark Frimpong, and he took that spot away. Will Mark Frimpong battle back, but Zeke Powers around the outside, and now Zeke is now the first car transferred.
And now Mark Frimpong found his way very loose. He's going to try to pick up all the time back and pick up the pieces, but so far it is not looking favorable as they approach 2 laps to go. Sawyer St. Clair is going to look around and try to get the white flag. Well, this time by... Now turn 2 all clear, though. Corey Hart's up to 2nd. There's Colton Zimmer behind. Is it looking different for the transfer position? No, it is not. So going into 3 and 4 for the final time, it looks like Sawyer St. Clair will be the winner. He'll do a little burnout. He will advance in the top 10 will make it in. Ezekiel Reyes will be the final transfer spot as Frimpong falls just short. Actually, Casey Drake gets in as well. So Frimpong, I believe somebody lost a position back there. It allowed Casey Drake to get into this top 10. Oh my goodness. Boy, this at a track like this, the cars like this, it's also very, very tough to even make out. But it looks like we've got everybody now into this. We got the warm-up now. So this will be everybody in the A main. So we'll have a 5-minute warm-up. We'll have our time to kind of relax here and take a little break, kind of recap what we've seen so far. And guys, we've seen a lot of action. I know I'm usually never experienced a lot with dirt racing. I know you guys probably have a little more experience than I do on this sort of front, but it's very tough when you have two battles going at the same time. You obviously have the battle for the win. You have drivers going for the win, but then you have that transfer spot that you have to keep your eye on. Now there's no more of that. No more of that confusion. No more of that kind of back and forth action. We have our battle for the win. $35 on the line as we go into the A main, our feature for tonight's event.
Yeah, that was a lot going on in my head there, trying to figure out who's in, who's out, what the transfer spot's looking like, and we can finally see it's just some classic 40-lap racing with a clean racetrack. So I'm really excited to see how these guys take it on. It's going to be a really crowded racetrack out there, but I'm excited. It should be a good race.
And Liam, I'll turn to you at least in this one. It was lots of chaos to go in, especially a lot of contact. You can't go in this race, especially with these cars, without some sort of contact. Saw drivers getting into issues. Of course, obviously the lap cars played a factor as well. And of course, you have drivers just pouncing for position, getting the slide jobs, trying to execute the best they can on the dirt. And for the most part, you know, in most of the seasons, especially when you go in the Winter Series, most of these guys are usually affiliated with the asphalt type surfaces. They're usually on the asphalt side of things. They're usually running, you know, the NASCAR Cup Series cars and the Xfinity Series cars, the Truck Series trucks, all those stock cars, and maybe even some IndyCar maybe along the way, maybe some of them on dirt, but usually in iSCAR you don't necessarily see the dirt too much. Is it going to be a little harder, at least after, you know, focusing on the winter season so far for the championship, all on asphalt? You go to the dirt, have a little fun, but you're also kind of struggling a little bit with that race car.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty big curveball for all these guys. You know, you don't really see everybody, anyone think of dirt except for Eldora. Then that's one race on the whole entire schedule in any series. So, you know, this is going to be a pretty big curveball for everybody. These cars are pretty big of a pain to drive, as we saw a little bit of complaints throughout the week in drivers' preparation for this race. So, yeah, I would say it's a little bit of a curveball for these guys, and it's going to be interesting to see how these asphalt guys tackle this course. And hey, maybe a few dirt stars can try to rise their way to the top of the chart and get themselves an iSCAR win.
We're looking at the warm-up as we approach 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Brody Garner currently is your leader by about 0.150 on the time. You see everybody slowly getting their way around under the lights now as the track starts to develop even further. What's also good about these, especially this configuration, this track, this type of car, the UMP Modified was most recently made free on the iRacing service. So if you have an iRacing membership, you could get that car for free, and you can go turn around in test laps. You can go into hosted. You could even go into leagues, and maybe even go up to some sort of official racing, I believe, and just use that car. And then also at a free track like Lanier that has this dirt configuration, you race this in a good chunk of the dirt series. I know the street stocks go over here. I believe this week they're actually here at this very track. So it is somewhat familiar, and you both have free tracks where you won't have to spend any money having to turn laps and get some experience around here. So definitely probably a little easier for all of these drivers instead of having to pay for some content and have that over here in the iRacing service. So we got about 1 minute 15. Charlie, your thoughts before we actually have our feature race and go for 40 laps here to take a winner?
Yeah, based on what I've seen on the heat racing, it's a really crowded track out there, but you know, it's going to be really interesting to see the lines develop and how people, you know, maybe go up to the wall line or maybe stick by the inside walls. So it's going to be really hard to pass for some of these guys, especially when the track state starts to increase and all the dirt gets rubbed off. And I'm going in with high expectations. I'm really excited to see a lot of these oval asphalt guys slinging on the dirt.
Liam, your thoughts?
And I think it's going to be a really good show. Maybe a rocky start, maybe, but as you see a lot of people having fun on the track, you know, trying to get each other As you see, Brody Garner gets hit by, I believe that was Mark Frimpong there, but a lot of guys having fun on track right now. As Jake Sylvia is up and over, but I think it'll be pretty interesting to see how these guys tackle this type of track, and you know, it's a really difficult thing to adapt to. But as you see, Daniel Falkingham, one of the strongest guys in his heats, he's not top of the chart right now, but he's been really strong all night.
And Daniel Falkingham, one of the drivers we've seen so far in the heats and the mains as well, obviously very strong, and took one of the wins to see Brody Garner. And now we've got the checkered flag for our warm-up session, so it is time to get to our feature event. 25 drivers, 40 laps. We've got automatic caution, so if we have trouble on the racetrack, the yellow flag will be displayed and we'll be under pacing, try to get a restart. Remember, winner takes all, $35. There'll be probably bonus prizes as well. And we also have an award for the hardest chargers. The driver who gains the most positions through all the sessions. That includes heat racing, the main racing, and of course, the feature event that we'll see here tonight. You see everybody grinning up. We're going to take a look at your grid here for the feature race here for the Turkey Derby in 2020. On the pole is Hunter Rupp in the 053. He'll start in first. Right alongside him, the 41 of Christopher Weil.
Right behind him, the 30 of Daniel Falkingham. Will start on the inside of row number 2 and to his outside. One of the Brady brothers, Kenny Brady, here tonight, and that number 33 will run on row number 2.
And in row 3, you got Chase Bonser in the 81, and Hunter Johnson. He's been strong all night. We're going to see if he can try to get his way up from 6th.
Row number 4, Josh Patterson in the 15th will be from 7th. Brody Garner in the number 55 will be from 8th on row number 4.
Bryce Crawford kicks off row number 5 and to his outside. Kevin White Jr., a short track racer. Good to see him on the dirt tonight in that number 147.
Row
and
6.
in row 6,
go ahead.
Pardon. Dylan Basin in the number 08 in 11th, and Eric Heater in 12th.
Row number 7, Joe Berge in the number 83 will be from 13th. Jake Sylvia will round down in the 78, 14.
Proximity Racing's Andy McDowell will start 15th and to his outside Sawyer St. Clair, who made his way up through the mains and was able to score a spot in the feature on the 121. He will start 16th.
And in row 9, you got Corey H. Hartz in the 57, alongside Harry Grindle in the 70 and 18th.
You know, look from row 10 on back. We have 25 drivers in this race. So you look through notable drivers: Jackson Menchu, Aaron Brown. Zeke Reyes will start from 24th. He'll have a little work cut out for him, and that'll be our field. 25 machines, UMP modifieds, as we go pacing and try to go for the green flag here in heat. Well, not number heat, the feature. What am I saying? I've really never covered dirt before, so it is still a new experience, I believe, for all of us at least to get into this. But meanwhile, we've got the green flag up and away. Pace truck is all the way down. Hunter Rupp leads them down as Falkingham tries to look for 3 and 2nd. Christopher Wiles, we got a huge wreck already pile up into turn 2.
And that'll bring the first caution out of the night on lap number 1. And Hunter Rupp will survive still as the race leader. Daniel Falkingham scores in the 2nd place.
Yeah, Falkingham with a big Hail Mary into there. I think that kind of triggered that wreck. I don't think Christopher Weil could be too happy with that, as he's going to settle himself in 8th, or 6th place, pardon me. But, yeah, I don't think he was too happy with that. As you see, Hunter Rupp, he's still the leader. But really aggressive move by the 30 car as they went into turn 1. As you see back here, Corey Hartz, he slows up for the wreck. Everybody else doing a pretty good job here. But up front, Hunter Rupp.
Try to take a look at that as there was a big pile up there. Tried to look over there, but huge wreck, and we already saw this in the heats. We've already seen into turn 1. I guess a lot of drivers, at least in the same spots, going for the same real estate, seems to hurt a lot, especially when you're going through a lot of these corners, and seems to be very difficult. Christopher Wow did also fall back. He did fall back to 5th after starting in 2nd. It looks like he'll actually get back up to try to get every position categorized as we're moving through. And already our first yellow. Remember, 40 laps to be in this race, so we still have a relatively long way to go until we actually crown a winner here tonight. But it seems as though the lead continues to change hands. I'm not really sure what's happening with the timing and scoring at the moment.
It's worth mentioning that caution laps for dirt racing events do not count. So no laps are going to be counted while we're under caution.
Yeah, one of the nice things about dirt racing is you're able to have no laps count, so no matter what happens, you're going to have 40 laps of green flag racing, whether it takes, 20 minutes or whether it takes an hour. It'll still be 40 laps conditionless of how the race goes.
Yeah, one of the interesting things that we see, of course, in the stock car racing, you have yellows and the laps do count. So you do go through some laps, and that does kind of shorten the race a little bit, especially when you're under green. It does lengthen it, of course, with the yellow since it's at a slow pace, but in terms of the laps that you're actually putting down on the track, if we actually had caution laps counted, then we'd probably get through the race a lot quicker than if we did right now, which we do not have them counting. But meanwhile, we got the green flag back up underway. Corey Hart seems to be at the front as Hunter Rupp tries to look in second. Everybody single file, going to scramble for the rest.
And the yellow's back out on lap number 2. Corey Hart just took the lead on coming to the restart.
That was Dylan Basin in the 08 who was involved in that incident. I was involved there. It seemed as though he went around on the racetrack. We'll take a look at our replay, see exactly what might have transpired with Dylan Basin coming to the green flag. Here was a look as he was going to the green flag, all clearing away, and then into turn number 1 is where he got in trouble. Oh, man. I'm not sure what might have happened there. Some neck code between the 08 and the 78 Sylvia sent him around, and it's immediately the cause of the yellow as he's all the way back in position.
Yeah, that code was one of the big things about the iRacing service. It's been happening quite frequently lately, so not really think you see much on dirt. Incidents happen by that as cars really straighten themselves out on dirt a little bit once you have a little bit of contact, such as net code, but that was a little extreme there, so I'm not sure what happened there, but yeah.
Alright, well, our second yellow coming out, and I believe I believe you may have information, Liam, on what was the last time we actually went under here, as now it looks like we're getting the green flag back up underway. Corey Hart's in this lead as he took it on that restart. Hunter Rupp will try to fight for second as Daniel Falkingham will look under for third. Contact to the outside wall. They're maintain actually themselves. I think everyone pretty clean through 1 and 2 this time around.
And we'll complete our first full green flag lap. The battle for second place heating up. Daniel Falkingham was door slamming Hunter Rupp down the front straightaway, and he will just barely keep Hunter Rupp in the wall, and he's around.
Yeah, 1/10 into this race, no caution yet, so Hunter Rupp is going to get back going, and no caution is going to come out as a huge wreck in 3 and 4. That's going to be a caution.
There's a yellow once again. There's our heater, Joe Berge, the 33 of Kenny Brady involved, as that was the 23, I think, behind them, as the scoring order continues to go wild. I'm not sure why it continues to do so, but just trying to look for the driver. It was the 23 that was involved. Obviously, Falkingham had a piece of that as well. Take a look behind. There was a huge flip behind, and I could not really see. It's just, it continues to shuffle around. There's the 81 of Bonser finding his way around, as Rupp holds the lead, I believe, or Corey Hart's. It is still up for grabs. I'm not sure why the scoring and timing continues to shuffle around like this. And I'm not even sure what's going on here.
I believe it's just a thing with caution laps not counting, as you see everybody cycling around. As you see, it looks like the list is actually scrolling upwards, so it's kind of like flipping through the field or whatever, but not too sure, but just ATVO being ATVO. Yeah.
Well, we'll try to get that updated, and we'll try to figure out that situation as we move forward. It continues to change hands, and I'm not even sure really what's happening. We're still under yellow. It seems as though everyone kind of files through, and then it shuffles through the entire field. Everyone continues to change position, and then it files through as soon as everyone gets onto the actual grid. So Hunter Rupp now, it seems to be relatively stable. Actually, no, it's actually still going through. So we're going to actually take the green flag this time by. Pace truck is down. That number 53, the 053, is up and away. And Falkingham going to try to follow for second. Immediately another yellow flag to follow, as the 33 of Kenny Brady is around.
A very rough start to this Turkey Derby. But
oh man, still have everybody shuffling through. I'm quite not sure, as Hunter Rupp still holds the lead. Falkingham second. There seems to be battling for the lead, but continues to change hands as everybody scrambling behind. Huge wrecks we're seeing behind as well. Well, I wasn't expecting it to be this rough, at least in the opening segment of this feature, but at least it's not a points race, I'd say that for sure. As we're going underway, back to the green flag, Hunter up. We'll see if we get a longer run to follow as the 30 of Falkingham will try to find his way to the back. Everybody within the top 5 relatively clean. I think we might have some contact though as Bergie gets into contact, way up to the outside wall. We might have a clean lap here, guys.
Yeah, we have 3 clean laps so far, so we're going to see if everyone else can try to beat this little record here, but as you see up front, you have Hunter Up and Daniel Falkingham throwing sliders on one another. Hunter Up back to the inside, going to try to take it back away, but then Daniel Falkingham's going to get that nice straight line off the corner. They make contact up front. Daniel Falkingham's going to get into that 053, and now he's going to go for the slider again. Not going to happen this time.
He'll power around the outside. We got great racing up here for the front spot. More contact to the rear end of Hunter Up. And Daniel Falkingham will just try to take that spot out. All you need is just a fender clear, then you can try to slide up. Maybe it's a contact's made. We got another flag.
That was Caden McKee in the number 27 who was around, and he was stuck on the racetrack, almost got into the leaders. We'll take a replay. He was the cause of this yellow flag. I think he also had a couple cars to follow with him. We'll take a look here. This was the 27's point of view. Going into the corners is turn 1 and 2. He had a contact with Garrett Hess. There's Aaron Brown. Ezekiel Reyes found his way by. There was a black car there that also got involved. I don't see the number specifically.
Yeah, I can't really make a number out of that, but yeah, Cade McKee had a little bit of contact with another car, and he'll get it back going. So we're back under caution once again. Hunter Up maintains the lead as you have the 30 of Daniel Falkingham. They're starting to get together a little bit, and don't look too far behind to find a little bit of a damage on Christopher Wiles' car, but he's nonetheless still making his way forward.
Yeah, and under yellow once again, lap number 9. Of course, these laps do not count under yellow, so we're just pretty much banking on those green flag laps to even carry us through most of this race. I believe we also have our 1 to green signal, so we should be taking the green flag very, very shortly with Hunter up at the top of this field. Falkingham, though, that was a compelling battle, though we did see up there, and hopefully we could see more of it as the pace truck is down to pit road. Everybody separated around. We're back under green from the feature.
Hunter Up, he's impressing me right now. He's up front, currently battling with Daniel Falkingham. It's a mean slider with the 51, and he's going to go around.
Contact there with the 23. Caution is out again. And it was contact with the outside wall. That 41 got into it. And again, under yellow here on lap number 10. Take a replay. It was already at the front with the 41 of Christopher Wow, who was battling. There was the 55 below, but you get contact to the outside wall here. Right there with contact with the 55. Here comes the 23 just piling in. And those two are the reason that the caution has been displayed once again. Boy, what a ride that is. Very rough. So Hunter Up will continue to lead this race. Falkingham second. We've already lost another driver up to the top 5 as Wow gets by. We got the 1 to green signal already. Guys, it's very fast-paced, this race. Not usually used to this kind of fast-paced, racing where we have a quick yellow, then a quick restart, and so forth. So many of them already through this race as we're already about to get our green flag here, but Hunter Up continues to lead. And we'll just see how this continues to file out as the 30 of Falkingham will follow. The 053 will take the green flag. Garner third, Crawford in a fourth.
Rodney Garner has moved himself up into that 3rd spot over the course of this race, so he's having a really good run here as he's going to try to enter the battle for the 1st spot. Daniel Falkingham takes the 1st spot, though.
And that is big for that 30 car. If he can get a little bit of a run in on this restart. Oh no, big contact behind him. Not sure what brought out the caution, but got car spun around. It looks like on the front stretch, maybe? I'm not sure. I can't really make out a car here.
It looked like Bergie could have been. I'm not sure who was involved. Like a Chase Sponsor was fairly slow, though, on the track. Not sure whether he was the cause of the yellow or what. Still scrolling around, so it's kind of hard to get everybody significantly, or at least try to click somebody who was there. Here was the 81. Actually, that was Berge who went up into the outside wall. And you see him there, his tire. He goes up into the outside wall. Hard contact with the exit. Even more so with Jackson Menshew. Oh, yeah, that is his race for sure. That is a heavily damaged modified. And he made his way on a pit road. That is the cause of our yellow flag once again.
I'm starting to question the flip count for the night. If you pay attention to Chili Bowl coverage throughout the week of the Chili Bowl, you know that they have a flip count, and that reaches up into the hundreds almost. So I wonder what it is for just tonight.
Well, it's definitely higher than our laps completed on the green.
That is very true.
Yeah, it definitely is. We're gonna try to get lap number 13 in every other lap underway. Should we have another yellow, we'll try once more in a very jagged restart for the 30 of Daniel Falkingham. That caught everybody off guard as they're back under green, but there's a huge pileup on the front straightaway as the 78 gets into the 121, and again under yellow as everybody got caught off guard there on that restart.
Yeah, it looked like I'm not sure if the 30 held back or if the 053 tried to time it. I'm not sure what happened here, but once we get a replay here, it started up there right at the lead with Daniel Falkingham, and as you see the pace truck dive down, you see the 30 car. He Hunter Up just tried to time it and way too early, and bye field.
That was Blaze Crawford who went around, and then even more contact there up front between the 78 and the 121. Sawyer St. Clair, Jake Sylvia, those two. And that's the reason we've got another quick yellow on lap number 13. And we're just trying to get all the green flag laps in. It seems as though contact is imminent between these drivers. Falkingham, though, with a very interesting restart. And one thing we usually see about these dirt restarts compared to a lot of what we see on the asphalt side of things, that these drivers are usually used to, guys. And Charlie, I'll first talk to you about this, since I know you have been a part of the dirt scene in iRacing, and you've been a part as we're going to green here on lap number 13, that, you know, these restarts are heavily different. You're going single file all the way to the top, and then you just have to wait for the leader to kind of scrum down to the inside and be on the gas pedal for everyone else to do so. And in a league where you're usually going 2x2 all the way through, it's fairly difficult to try and measure that, especially when you get to your first trip in the dirt in a while.
Oh yeah, but it's also fun to kind of get a change of racing and really overall just experimentation with different lines. And that's really what I love about dirt racing is we got, I believe that's Eric Heater around. That'll bring out yet another caution.
Oh man, another one to bring out. I believe that's Kevin White Jr. Indeed it is Kevin White Jr. who has just gone around. We'll look at a replay once more. This is the inside, on the inside of Eric Heater. This is for the top 5 spot. This actually looks pretty interesting. Seemed as though the battle was continuing. The 28 gets into the wall, enough to send the 147 in through the corner. And I think here is where really everything starts to develop. Right there into the wall goes, I believe that was Blaze Crawford. And then huge contact. There's Harry Grindell, Garrett Hess, Aaron Brown tags in very late. And another quick yellow as Falkingham continues to lead, and quite a different array of drivers as they continue to change to this top 5, Liam. And we're seeing Falkingham stay up here. Hunter Rupp, who's done actually very, very well. These two have done remarkably well. Heater's now into the top 3. We've seen him win a couple iSCAR races before. Jake Sylvia now in the top 5. Soren St. Clair we saw in the heat. And Nick Miller, who's found his way into the picture. Very interesting.
Yeah, a bunch of cars. You're starting to see some comers and goers, and you're starting to see a lot of goers now as you get one to green. Daniel Falkingham, that move on Hunter Rupp was very crucial for him, because if you get a 1-lap or 2-lap shootout, that's going to be pretty much it.
We're back under green, lap number 15. We'll try and stay green here from through on out. You'll see the track continue to change as Hunter Rupp used the high line, and here comes Daniel Falkingham still up to the lead. We got a battle for third. Sylvia looking under Heater.
And he's trying to take that spot away. We'll just squeeze up, oh boy. Yeah, Eric Heater doing a good job defending his position, and you'll notice that the outside line is really going to help with momentum, really on corner exit, and that's really one of the big advantages. But there's also that really tight wall there that you see off of turns number 2 and turns number 4 that you really have to do your best job of avoiding.
As you can see, that 78 making a power move to the inside, not going to be able to hold the momentum. Actually, he will, as Hunter Up gets bottled up on the top side. Eric Heater right in behind him, but they're all trying to take down this 30 car. As the caution comes out, who was the leader? Daniel Faulkner. Oh, Christopher Weil up and over.
Christopher Weil with a huge hit. He was up and over on his roof. We'll take a replay. This is a dramatic hit to the outside wall. Here he was battling with Brody Garner. Garner gets a piece of the wall, but he was off of the corner. Oh my goodness, they were actually wrecking in front. That was Jackson Menchu and Chase Bonser involved, as those two had a huge hit. Trying to find there as Bonser looked up there. That was a huge crash. Actually started with him and Jackson Menchu. There's Menchu getting loose. The 81 got into him, and then the 41 just has nowhere to go. Oh my goodness. I think, Charlie, that does really add to the flip counter. I think maybe 2 or 3 times, because that was violent.
Yeah, what an impact. You see, like, Christopher Weil, he just kind of got flung around there. Nothing he could do there. Just wrong place, wrong time for that 41 car. As it looks like we're going to get the 1 to green here, as Daniel Falkingham took away the lead. And once he takes the green here, we're going to be halfway done with this feature race.
Halfway home, guys. We're almost close, and seems as though second already changed. You saw the pass for second as Jake Sylvia made his way. He's going to try to contend for the race lead. Falkingham, though, will try an attempt at a restart to blow away the rest of this field. He'll try once more. You go off turn 4. We're back under green from Lanier.
That's the lead so far, and Jake Sylvia has been on a charge to the front, and he has moved himself all the way up into the second position and was able to at least go up there and almost challenge Falkingham before we caught that yellow flag. But Eric Keener's still battling back on the high side. We got 1 car wall riding.
Whoa, so you're saying clear. Really slow. Please don't bring out a caution. And he does.
20 to go, halfway, brings out a yellow as he was right up to the outside wall, kind of riding a Brad Keselowski style, if you remember that nationwide race all the way. Oh my goodness, and we'll take another look of Sawyer St. Clair, as he had a fun ride all the way through the wall. I think maybe he attracted some fans with that one. As he's up to the outside wall, I believe it started with contact with the 053 of Hunter Up, as he got very loose. You see him there trying to hang on to the car. He's battling with Nicky Miller. There's contact with the 121. And at that point, just really nowhere to go but the outside wall, holding on. He actually had it for the most part, but then right here, more contact with the wall sends him sideways. And then the suspension all messed up there from the look over, and he will be all the way back in 17th. And move him all the way out. A lot of drivers already taken out on this one. Had 25 drivers to start this race. We so far have 17 on the lead lap. That was Sawyer St. Clair as the last one on the lead lap this time by.
As we're going to get the 1 to go, as Daniel Falkingham has led pretty much every lap after taking Hunter Rupp's spot there, as the pace cars duck down and in, and Daniel Falkingham will lead him into green, getting a nice jump over Jake Sylvia, but he's been charging up through the field. The one car that we haven't really talked about is Eric Heater. He's able to make that upper groove work for him, and I think he's stronger than those top 2 cars.
And as soon as this groove continues to develop, you're seeing everybody down in the middle groove all the way to the bottom. Heater's been one of the confident ones to go all the way to the top, and he's made it work. You see him all the way to the outside, maybe even looking to 2 wide with Jake Sylvia. He's going to try to get the run as well. He's got it, though, as they're almost 3 wide for the lead. Now contact to the wall. They're still side by side for first.
And Jake Sylvia has done his best job to clear him, and he does. New race later, that 78 of Jake Sylvia has taken the race lead out of Daniel Falkingham's hands, and they'll try to run away with it. Nick Miller to 3rd place.
The 28 car got a little too high there, and he tried to get too much in one corner, and that's what set him back to 6th place now, as a car up and over, sideways, and he'll keep it going. Garrett Hess, good job by him, as Jake Sylvia all him up front, as Daniel Falkingham charging on the inside, trying to get that spot away right away. And while he'll do it temporarily here, he comes on the inside again, a little bit of contact, and he did a great job saving it there. Almost got spun around there by the 78.
They've had a beautiful battle for the lead as Jake Sylvia has carved the way through this field with just 14 to go at the line. Nick Miller, though, don't count him out. He was a little bit further back in this field, just kind of getting away from all the trouble. He has a little bit of damage to his number 95 Napa Auto Parts Modified, but so far, he's slowly kind of carving into this lead as Falkingham and Sylvia continue to battle for the first point.
Yeah, Nick Miller was able to get that gap, and we got another yellow flag, but Nick was able to get that just small gap between him and the car behind, and was able to really focus on his line and really optimizing his lap time to try to catch up.
Got a pretty decent sized run in there. Not sure what the caution was for, but we got a pretty solid run in there, and now we only have 14 laps to go, as it looks like Chase Bonser involved in another incident tonight. Hasn't really been a nice night for that 81 car, but you know, doesn't hurt to have some laps on dirt. But he just got sent around there, bonked the inside wall, get it back going. Can't really hang on to it. As you see, you're pretty much counter-steering the entire lap, and as you saw when he cranked back left, too sharp, and there he goes.
So that was enough for our yellow flag once again, and what a battle for the lead, though, between Jake Sylvia and Daniel Falkingham. Between those two, that 78 took over the race lead, and even then, that was enough to really get everything over that number 30. You see a better look at just exactly all the drivers in this field on the vertical ticker there, and you see them kind of shuffling a little bit, but once you get the one to green, we get that green flag, it'll all be okay, it'll be stable. We'll see Jake Sylvia at the top of the field with one to green on the pace truck, and it'll make its way on the safety of pit road here from the linear raceplex. Here comes the truck down at pit road. Jake Sylvia will mash on the gas pedal. We are back under green as he gets a good start over Daniel Falkingham. Miller Rupp into fourth. Eric Heater still holding on at fifth. Maybe a charge as those two battling for position, trading as Sylvia continues to lead.
Yeah, your pole sitter just hanging on to that fifth position, but up front, Jake Sylvia, 2/10 lead over Daniel Falkingham. And I really think that the battle for the win is going to be between those two guys up front right now.
As you see, their nose to tail, a lot of drivers starting to spread themselves out midfield, but Hunter Rupp, he's trying to take that spot away from Eric Heater. Looks like he's going to get it done on this straightaway, and he does, so he's going to take fourth away. Caution once again, 12 to go.
12 to go, hopefully looking for the driver involved. Might have been Sawyer St. Clair. Could have been the driver involved, as he's now on pit road. Did not see him there before, prior to that incident. Maybe could have been the cause of this incident. Indeed, it was Sawyer St. Clair involved. We'll take a look as he was down and actually over on his roof. Maybe contact there with Jackson Minshew, and indeed there was. So again, another ride up to the outside wall and a barrel rolling flip into turn number 3. Surely ending his night, as he has no option but to tow. Nobody else going to turn him around and flip him over as he goes down to the pit lane. And once again, another yellow with 12 laps to go. And Charlie, I think we've already established our battle for the lead. Of course, it's still not out of the question. Of course, any driver from third on back can still get it. We're seeing phenomenal battling between Eric Heater, Hunter Rupp. Nick Miller has silently made his way to the podium spot. So we can see any of those drivers charge in. But this established battle for the lead between Falkingham and Sylvia, I think it's probably going to be competitive all the way to the end with these two.
Yeah, and one of the nice things about dirt racing, and kind of one of the saving graces here, is those quick yellows, because there are no pit stops. It really speeds up the yellow process by a lap or 2 or 3. But we're back underway here. Can Jake Sylvia defend the lead?
And a great restart by that 30 of Daniel Falkingham. He's going to try to get to the inside. Can't really get that nice bite that he needed. But he's going to actually take it away from Jake Sylvia. But here comes Jake Sylvia with that nice run off the corner. He's going to try to take that momentum, go to the inside of the 30. $35 at play here. So that 78 really wants it bad. And he takes it away in one set of corners as Daniel Falkingham makes a little bit of contact there. Gets him knocked sideways. Here comes Nick Miller and Eric Heater.
Crossover after crossover between these top two. The 78 almost made that run. Then the 30 gave the bump and run. As the 30's up into the outside wall, they're still battling for second. Nick Miller, though, might try to spoil the party for $35. Contact between him and the 30. They're still side by side as Eric Heater also looks to the high side as well.
All you need is a nose under them in order to take that spot. But the yellow is out once again with just under 10 laps to go here.
Seems to have been Chase Sponsor, who's now out of this race. Must have been him involved.
As it looks like Corey Rexford actually, he got involved with him there. A little bit of contact maybe. And oh no, it's the 053 of Hunter Ups to cause a stack up. And doesn't. And yeah, he snags that inside wall, hits the lead gunner Zeke Rios, and that'll be the caution.
Though Chase Bonser might have found his way, but he actually went around as well. I think it was kind of a double situation there. The 81 got into the outside wall. You can see the engine all exposed on that machine. I think at that point it was his signal to just park it and just end his night. as Ezekiel Reyes, Hunter Rupp. Unfortunate to see Hunter Rupp, though, in that incident, as he was one of the drivers in this top 5 to watch for. There was a Hornet's Nest, though, behind with Andy McDowell, Garrett Hess, maybe even Brody Garner, as Eric Heater was leading that group. Seems as though that could have been that was the cause of that yellow, as Hunter Rupp was falling back through this field. And we'll look back up to the front. Still, Daniel Falkingham in control. Took that spot away from Jake Sylvia. Nick Miller third. Eric Heater fourth. Andy McDowell in a fifth. Back to the green flag with just 9 laps to go here from the Lanier Raceplex. It is still a hard charging battle for the lead as one car gets completely sent to the outside wall. Andy McDowell caused that whole sequence. Here's a Hornet's Nest for top 5.
A lot of guys jostling for position. Contact with Corey Hart's there. We got a 4-car up and over. Oh my goodness.
That'll
Corey
be 7
Hart's.
to go. And Corey Hart just got cleaned out there. I don't know how else to say that, but they went in the corner and Corey Hart's didn't make it out of the corner. So as you see, Eric Heater just send it in there and up and over.
There's just that gaggle of cars here. Brody Garner was leading that. There was Andy McDowell. Eric Heater gets into him and then just sandwiched right there. Just sends him on his side. Up and over. I think Garrett Hess gets involved. There's a car. Hunter Rupp also got into that as an innocent bystander. And once again, another yellow. But now we're starting to get into the final segment of this race. We're starting to see the battle for the lead getting it even tenser, because now time is running out for that cash prize money for Jake Sylvia, or really any other driver for that matter, maybe even Nick Miller to kind of join in as well. So Falkingham is going to try to hold on. There's still about 6 laps to go, or about 7 laps to go when we get to this green flag. We've already got the 1 to green signal, so Falkingham will lead the way. Sylvia, though, with a valiant effort so far. We'll see if he's able to continue. Maybe even Nick Miller. Anyone behind, we've seen 4th on back. Practically so tense between 4, 5 wide, 3 wide as well. We're back under green as Falkingham gets the early start. Where did Brody Garner come from on the bottom of the 95? He's going to look for top 5 as well, as he's going to look under. There's a lot of drivers fighting for that podium spot.
Yeah, these guys know that it's go time now. We're under the 5 left to go mark. Come to the line here. Eric Heater up by the fence, but Daniel Falkingham over half a second lead, just trying to defend it and trying to run away with it.
Oh my goodness, and another yellow as McDowell's up and over. Again, add that to the flip list. Oh my. We'll take a look. It was obvious though, Eric Heater though, it's on the I side, just trying to make it work. Here's McDowell looking in.
Eric was struggling to get around the racetrack and
He snagged the wall there, and Andy just started flipping.
Luckily still in this race though, albeit with a heavily damaged race car. Well, luckily still in this race, can try to scramble for whatever positions he can. But now we're at 5 to go. We've only killed 2 laps out of that one. We did restart with 7 laps to go, went up to 5. Still no change in 1, 2, and 3. First, second, and third. Falkingham, Sylvia Miller continue to be your top 3, as now 4th place has shuffled over to Josh Patterson and Garrett Hess, Cade McKee, the rest of this top 10 moving forward, as we do have the 1 to green signal from the pace truck. So another quick yellow will be met with another quick restart, as Falkingham will try to lead the way. Hold on for $35 in a winner-take-all situation. Pace truck is all the way down. Sylvia's going to try to get the advantage, but it's not enough, as we're back under green. Already huge crash with Jackson Menchu up there in the back.
I don't think that's going to bring out another yellow, so we can continue racing for the lead here. Here comes Jake Sylvia to the inside there, door to door, hugging each other for the top spot. And here comes Josh Patterson.
Interesting that didn't bring out a caution. I thought for sure we're going to have another yellow there, but nonetheless, 3 to go. The 30 and 78 are side by side. Nick Miller trying to get into a battle of this, but I don't think it's going to be enough for him to get there. He's really trying to fight off this 27-15, and I believe that is the 777. Nice run by Garrett Hess, but Nick Miller is going to make contact with Daniel, try to wreck him out of that spot. He really wants that money there, but here comes the 95 to the inside. Got to try to snag it away again. But here comes Jake Sylvia on the inside of the 95, coming to the white flag.
one more time around the Lanier Raceplex. Can Nick Miller or the 78 of Jake Sylvia do anything to stop Daniel Falkingham up front? They're side by side for second. Falkingham continues to hold through 3 and 4. Off of the final corner for the final time. The 30 of Daniel Falkingham will take $35 and win the 2020 iSCAR Turkey Derby from Lanier. And a hard charging effort. What a race there between him, Sylvia, and Miller respectively for the top 3. And Falkingham will walk away with a win. And he'll celebrate in front of the virtual crowd. Chaotic 40-lap feature. Falkingham will take away the victory. Wow. Lots of flips, lots of crashes, lots of chaos. It's all Falkingham. Not sure whether he's going to do a burnout here in these cars. I don't even think that's really possible, but we'll just try to see whether that 30 even tries.
Not really sure burnouts are really a viable option on a dirt track.
Well, he's going to do them anyway. There he goes, the 30, giving a little loop around and face right to the virtual fans, right on the front straightaway. And you'll celebrate as we get our final results here from Lanier and get our way in this Turkey Derby for 2020. We'll take a look at the results. It is Daniel Falkingham with a win, $35, 40 laps, was able to survive enough. And Jake Sylvia just short into second, Nick Miller in the third. What a battle for those 3 spots. The podium, especially between the 30 and the 78. Josh Patterson will survive for 4th. Cade McKee will be in this top 5. Garrett Hess and a Valet Enford will finish P6. Ezekiel Reyes, league owner, will bounce back from some of the wrecks and finish 7th. Eric Heater, using the high line, will finish 8th. Corey Hartz, after that miraculous flip, he'll finish 9th. Casey Drake will be in this top 10.
Jackson Menchie just right outside the top 10 will finish 11th. Aaron Brown 12th. Brody Garner for Parksman Racing 13th. And now we enter the cars a lap down. Hunter Rupp in the 14th position, 1 lap down. Andy McDowell 15th. Chase Bonser 16th. Sawyer St. Clair 17th. A promising run for him ends pretty early. Hayward Grandell finishes 18th. Christopher Weil 19th. And Blaze Crawford round out your top 20.
And taking you to 25th, you got Kevin White Jr. in the 147. In 21st, you got Joe Berge in the 83. In 22nd, Dylan Mason 23rd in the number 08. Kenny Brady in the 33, 24th. And Hunter O. Johnson in that number 12 will round out your field.
So those are the 25 machines that finish here from the Lanier Raceplex in the virtual side. And Daniel Falkingham will be your winner. We'll take a moment to step aside, and when we come back, we'll have all of our post-race coverage with our top 5 interviews, and of course the interview with your race winner, Daniel Falkingham, as we'll have more coverage here from Lanier. Don't go anywhere. We've got more coming next.
Coming up to the line, being chased, and it was Brayden Johnson. Unbelievable finish. It was 1/1000th of a second.
Green flag in the air. We are racing in the 2020 24 Hours of Daytona.
They go door to door for the feature race lead here on the last lap of the race. Side by side for the race lead in the final corner of Roscoe. Down the back straight, right again for the race lead. This is unbelievable stuff here tonight. Is going to have to be very deep on the brakes, and he is very deep on the brakes. It's side by side through the corner. This is for the win. It'll be side by side. Davies low, Ottinger high. To the very inside is Garrett low. 4 wide at the stripe. All he's went here on this outside line, neck and neck. Who's going to back out? Does anyone back out? Verstappen starts to squeeze on the inside, and now he'll try and straight line it. Goes under the apron, drag race to the line. It's so close to call.
Welcome back to the iSCAR 2020 Turkey Derby here, live from the virtual Linear Raceplex in Brazelton, Georgia. Well, we had a 40-lap main event to decide the $35 winner, the winner of the Turkey Derby here this Saturday night, and it was Daniel Falkingham who took over the race win and is now celebrating down there in victory lane, and we'll take him in for a word, and we'll bring him in from the victory lane. And Daniel, a hard-fought way to hold off all those drivers behind you, especially with Jake Sylvia. You were battling there with Hunter Rupp for a good portion of this race, but all of a sudden it changed hands. You were battling there with Sylvia, Miller all the way to the end. Just walk us through your perspective as he was holding off all of those drivers to take the win here tonight.
Oh, man, that was crazy. Dirt racing, I don't do a lot of dirt racing, so it's really not really one of my specialties, but I feel like once I got into the groove of things when we got on the server tonight and did a little bit of practice tonight, kind of got in the groove of things, I kind of feel like what the track would feel like once the track slicked off. I thought we were going to be running the fence or whatnot. And then here comes old Jake Sylvia running the bottom down here right behind me, and he passes me for the lead. So I was like, on that next restart when he was leading, I learned a little bit of stuff from him of how because with my type of driving style, I'm always like hard on the throttle and stuff, but I learned you had to play with the throttle a lot. Like, don't go full onto it, you got to roll into it, and don't be wide open. So I definitely learned a lot about dirt racing tonight, definitely learned a lot throughout this race, and that's what allowed me to have a shot there at the end. I knew I had to get a little bit aggressive there with Jake there because, got a little bit of money that's on the line, I thought. And I knew we weren't going to get the hard chargers since we started up front pretty much. So $35 was right in front of me, so I had to put a little bump and run on a dirt track. So guess that's just dirt track racing sometimes. But man, well, what a heck of a battle we had between me, Jake, Nick Miller at the end, Hunter there. It was a great race. Man, just can't thank everyone enough for putting this race on. Didn't even plan on racing tonight. And then I saw I was up for money and stuff. Did the practice race last night to see if I could get acquainted with the UMP. And I felt pretty confident in it, so I decided why not run tonight, and things fell our way.
Well, learning definitely was the theme for a lot of these drivers here tonight, usually on the asphalt side of things. Daniel, from your perspective all the way at the front, you had a lot of time to really handle that race car and get used to how the race car really handled, especially as the track started to change over the course of the night. What seemed to be the biggest challenge when it came to this UMP modified, especially on this type of surface here at Lanier?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting because if I do any dirt stuff, because I've done some dirt stuff like the last few weeks, stuff with the regular like real life season being over and whatnot. So I've been doing a little bit of sprint car racing and whatnot, and just probably the biggest thing is just adjusting to the UMP modified from a sprint car, because sprint cars are lightweight, you're in the throttle a lot almost. But with this one, there's a lot of off throttle time. These are a lot heavier cars, so definitely like weight transfer and whatnot, all that stuff is definitely a lot more difficult to handle. But we were able to adjust to it just fine, and it's just learning the lines. Like once the track slicked off, I thought it was gonna be right around the fence when the track slicked off. But when Jake was hauling what on the bottom, I kind of had to readjust my line and readjust how I was driving. Like I had to manage the throttle a lot more, had to be precise with my steering input, and he just blew right by me, and Jake blew up by me. So I decided to learn what he was doing, and I learned some stuff. We got the lead back, albeit I had to get a little bit aggressive there. But yeah, just huge learning curve for what I've been used to. And I'm a fan of dirt racing. I really enjoy people who do this stuff with major respect to them. So it definitely feels good to be able to do stuff where we're sliding around and being able to run multiple lanes too, which we haven't experienced on the asphalt overside for like a year now. So definitely felt good. It was definitely a big change, but I'm glad we adjusted it to it just enough, and we were able to get the win.
We certainly enjoyed watching you, Jake Sylvia, and all those other drivers sling the dirt here for the Turkey Derby in 2020. Daniel, before we let you go, I know there's probably a lot of people you have to thank, of course, teams, any sponsors, or really anyone you decide to give a shout-out to. So who are those people, and who are those people you'd like to give that thanks to?
Yeah, of course. I got to thank Zeke for putting on this race and for doing what he does with the league and stuff. I don't often run a lot as I used to, but trying to keep myself busy during the off season. So I figured, why not do some races here, and then with the Turkey Derby that was coming up, I decided to run it and managed to get a little money out of it. So I appreciate Zeke putting on the race. Appreciate all the drivers who come out and race each and every week. I know this wasn't the best of races, but I kind of figured that it's dirt. Not a lot of people are used to this stuff, so I knew it was going to be a rough race, but at least we were able to have a good few green last few laps there, to have a good battle there. So thanks to everyone who races. Thanks to all the admins who run the show. And yeah, thanks to you guys for broadcasting. Definitely gonna go back and watch this race. Definitely looked like a fun battle. And thanks to anyone who was watching this race as well. Definitely a fun show.
Well, Daniel, congratulations on your win here in the 2020 Turkey Derby, and congratulations, obviously, on that immense run there with Jake Sylvia and Nick Miller and the rest of those guys. And we'll let you go celebrate and enjoy that $35 cash prize.
Appreciate it, fellas.
Daniel Fuckingham, your winner here tonight from the Lanier Raceplex. We'll look over to second, as I don't believe we have much people in this top 5, at least to interview from the waiting room. So we'll actually bring in third place, Nick Miller on the podium, who's trackside with Charlie Byer.
Well, Nick, you got a copy? Yeah. Well, you're able to kind of charge up through the field and almost contend for a win as you move yourself into the second position, but just under those last few laps, just what more could you have gotten out of these hard-to-drive race cars to maybe get a chance for the win and beat Falkingham?
Not really sure. We had one shot going into one, and we didn't really get there. And then I thought I had the hard charger award locked in, so it would have got me $15, not realizing McKee was like close behind. And going into 3, I pretty much let Sylvia take the bottom. So Sylvia got P2 and I got 3rd. And in that case, I actually lost hard charger. So that kind of sucks. We lost $15 by doing that, but I wanted to play it safe. I worked my way up to the field. I felt like that the bottom really just kind of stayed the main groove at Linear if you knew how to run it.
And you know, there were a lot of comments throughout the week of during the practice races of how different these cars are and how tough they are compared to obviously an oval asphalt car. Just talk about that kind of transitions from racing NASCAR type stock cars, going from that to a dirt UMP modified. What's that like?
Yeah, oh no, it's kind of hard to describe. It's like, I guess you could say the closest thing you can resemble is like driving the Xfinity car at Atlanta. Is about close. Once you're on a long run, the tires like to burn off, and it's kind of feels like you're on ice. That's what it is pretty much when you're on rubber. Which I'm not sure if iRacing has it yet, but hopefully they have a new dirt model to where longer runs that where the rubber where that darker stuff is, the slick stuff. Eventually, when like if there's enough like rubber put down, it becomes grip. But I don't think iRacing has implemented that yet. So pretty much at the end of that run there, that middle line probably would have been the dominant one, with it being gripped up by rubber. But instead, it's kind of driving on ice, which is why it's either the wall or it's / the cushion or the very bottom is where the 2 lines were tonight.
All right, Zeke. Well, not Zeke. All right, Nick. So thanks for coming out here and racing with us in the 2020 iRacing iSCAR Turkey Derby. We'll hope to see you next week when we transition back to NASCAR. But before we let you go, do you have any teams or anyone that you'd like to thank for making tonight's 3rd place run happen?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's next week's road course. So for I think just about every series will in ARCA, so it'll be fun. We know cautions, which is something that we don't get a lot of in iSCAR, so it'll be fun.
Alrighty, Nick. Thanks for coming out here and racing with us, and we hope to see you next week, man.
Yep, thank you.
Nick Miller, 3rd place finisher tonight.
Well, that'll be, I guess, pretty much it for interviews. We don't necessarily have anybody else down there to the waiting room, so I guess we can't really pick up anybody else from the top 5, including Jake Sylvia, Josh Patterson, and Cade McKee, are those drivers that were finishing in this top 5. Well, Charlie, we had a relatively long night here from Lanier, and a lot of things to move over, and of course our first trip to the dirt in a while. Well, what seems to be the takeaway, at least from this race specifically, these cars, for maybe possible ventures into the dirt in the future in this league?
Well, I think that it's a really fun way to kind of spend your off week, and obviously with Thanksgiving passing by just a few days ago, it's fun to kind of get everyone together and just have a little fun on the dirt tonight. It doesn't really mean anything. You are racing for money, but it's just a fun race and not something to take too seriously. So I thought it was a lot of fun calling it up here. Our first time, Kenneth, you and I, calling a dirt race. So, I had fun. The race for the win was a really good battle.
Definitely a great battle for the win. And, of course, you did mention it, our debut here on MaxspeedTV. Usually we're over on the Cable and Racing Network side of things, and our first time here at MaxspeedTV. So we appreciate each and every one of you for taking part in this race and being a part of the live stream, watching each and every lap here from the Lanier Raceplex. Of course, our biggest thank you to Ezekiel Reyes for putting this league on and putting all these sessions in. And of course, you'll be seeing iSCAR come back next week in the Winter Series with the Yost Auto Sales Series, the Doug DeNice Series, the SimTV Truck Series, and of course, the Race Labs Cup Series that we'll see over throughout the week next week on our Thanksgiving break this time around on this Saturday. So a big thank you to everybody that works a part of this, obviously for MaxspeedTV for having us on here, and of course all the people in the booth, for Liam Sheen, who had to leave unfortunately a little earlier, of course my colleague in the booth, Charlie Byer. My name is Kenneth Bueno, saying good night from Lanier. We'll see you next time when iSCAR rolls around.